when they see that coin after Get Out, when they saw that coin after Black Panther, they said, oh, I don't care if you're cleaning my yard, you can also be in this bitch ass movie. Period. Yo, it's Jerome. What's up? So the new the Little Mermaid casting just came out that Halle Bailey, the girl from Grownish, and the one that it's like Beyonce's basically surrogate twins. One of the twins got the role of Ariel, and of course, white America is shook.
We have to get out of here.
What happened? The scene. What happened?
I can't. I feel unsafe. Close the door. I am shooketh.
What the fuck happened?
Yeah, people are shook. They're over here talking about some. Oh my God, what's happening? People are over here talking crazy out of their ass, talking about some. Ariel's white. I don't understand. This is racist. Da 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 da. Why are they changing it? Da 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 da. We're gonna deconstruct all this right now. Oh, didn't mean to start it. That's fine. Yeah, people are saying all this crazy junk, talking about basically how they don't like her because she's black. Or some people are saying like, why is it like even a big deal that she's black? Which is good that they're saying that, but they're saying it like, why is it even a big deal if she's black or white? Like, she's a fish, da 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 da. It makes no difference whether she's black or white, da 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 da. Well, actually, we're gonna get into that too. It makes a difference that she's black or white is because when you put a person of color in roles that we haven't been seen in, or roles that have been seen so differently and only in one way for so long, that shows other little brown and black girls and boys that that's possible and that that's a thing and that could be them. Because when you're you don't see that. You don't see a lot of people of color doing stuff. And so it's not just another princess movie to a lot of people. It means a lot more than just a regular princess movie. It's representation. It's something that can be them in the future. And I don't think people who have never been underrepresented understand that necessarily. They might just think, well, of course that could be that. I don't understand why they don't, because you haven't experienced being through not being represented. White people have always, no matter what you say, have always been represented on stage, on TV, and music more than anybody. And so you've never been underrepresented. And there's the other argument talking about that Ariel's white, why are they changing it, da 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 da. First off, let's talk about the fact that every time they make a new movie or a new version or something changes. You don't want to see the exact same movie again, whether that be music, they add in more music, whether that be plot line, whether that be characters. Sometimes new characters are added. So yes, I don't understand how that's different from changing the character's look. How is a plot line different from changing a character? Physical appearance or emotional appearance? Because when you change a plot line or when you change a character's decision to say something or not say something, that's changing their journey, and that's changing them as a character. Like The Shining. I just watched The Shining and I did some research about that and stuff. Apparently, the book, she was kind of like a strong, independent woman and she did whatever and she wasn't for jack shit. But in the movie, she kind of screams and shrills a lot.
As soon as possible! As soon as possible!
Kind of goes with a lot of what he does until it gets crazy and he tries to, like murder them bitches. Then she kind of fights back, but really until then she's kind of very complacent. And like one time he kind of cusses her out. It took me very back. He was like, what did he say? He was like, I don't even remember. He said he cussed her out.
Whether you don't hear me typing, what the fuck you hear me doing in here, when I'm in here, that means that I am working. That means don't come in.
He cussed her ass out. He was like something like, get the fuck out of my face.
Why don't you start right now and get the fuck out of here?
I was like, oh. And sis the whole time, deadass was like, okay.
Okay.
I was like, you would have got cussed out and you might have got a pop. But yeah, that was changing her character, so she wasn't the same as she was originally. And furthermore, furthermore, it's a fairy tale. Let's talk about that. It's a fairy tale Meaning, and fairy tales are adapted story-wise, television-wise, all over the world into different things, and the story changes and evolves depending on who's taking the story. Her appearance wasn't even in the original, like it was, but it didn't say she was white and had red hair. So why are we all assuming that she should have white and red hair because of the original basis of the story? That wasn't the original basis. That was Disney. It did say she needed fair skin. But to me, fair skin can be black skin. Melanin is fine. It's fair. It's fair, bitch. Period! I did not say red hair. So right there, if you were to change the hair, people would probably be more mad about changing their hair than changing her ethnicity. So what the hell? Like, people are just really, people don't understand the underlying racism in this. Like, somebody was like, wow, there's such a double standard. Like, they can do this with Ariel, but if we made Tiana white, first off, Tiana's whole story was based in her culture and her skin tone, basically. So in the movie, you saw the difference between white and black people. It was based in, I think, the 60s. Wrong. Movie, and it showed, you saw the cultural difference. The Little Mermaid is not on no cultural difference. It's about some woman trying to find love. And quite honestly, I hope they change the fact that this woman only does it for love. I hope there's some incentive. Bitch getting some money. Like, what's happening? Like, because even that right there is saying a woman leaves her whole entire life of being a princess for a man who doesn't even really know her, and she's kind of just shooting the breeze and shooting her shits and seeing if it works, because there's a big chance it won't. And I can see the passion in that, and I can see why that'd be inspiring, but also she's leaving her house for a man. But so that's number one, you can't change it because it's based in her culture. And number two, you can't, why would you want to do that? At this point in time, we do not need more only white powered stories, if that makes sense. Like, at this point in time, if we can put a person of color in some type of role, do it, because we need more of that and we need to see more of that. We're not seeing still the amount of representation that makes up America in our media. And so when we can do that more, we should, especially on a wide platform like Disney, where Disney kind of like whole thing is like, be what you want to be, and like, when they're really trying to be inclusive, it would make sense for them to have a black princess and also it's important to have a black princess in this type of story, in this situation, to show that while yes, we do need more black stories told, we don't always have to be about our depressing, sad oppression that quite frankly y'all put us through. But it doesn't always have, when it's like, say she's coming out, The Little Mermaid with Halle's, it does not need to be about how her family was the one to break out of fish slavery and she finally got the chance to go off with, it doesn't need to be about that. It's also showing that we can have cool, interesting stories that don't always focus on our oppression and our past. We can have stuff that's joyous and we're playing a princess and our biggest trouble is finding love. We can do that. We can show those types of stories. We're not only interesting when it's about how dark and depressing our past is. We also can tell comedies. We can also talk about how our mansion is so big that we can't hear our children down the hallway. Like, we can have problems like that. Like, people, Beyonce probably has that problem. Probably yelling at Blue like, Blue, get your ass in here. And Blue over in the movie room talking about some, who you talking to, mama? You better get back on your tour. As a black entertainer seeing these works and finally companies doing stuff like this, while seeing the comments are really disheartening and upsetting sometimes and frustrating, I'm also realizing that y'all aren't the ones casting the movie. And also I'm realizing that it's showing that when people of color are cast and stuff in movies, the movies usually do very, very well. And so it's almost like the people that are saying, oh, blah, blah, this is bad, da, 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 da. Well, you're saying this, but also the outcome is this money, and producers and directors, while a lot of them still can be prejudiced and racist and all this shit, when does talk loudly is Muncie, period. That coin, when they see that coin after Get Out, when they saw that coin after Black Panther, they said, oh, I don't care if you're cleaning my yard, you can also be in this bitch ass movie, period. yeah, it's making me hopeful for the future because I think it's showing that we are like America and just film movies and industries in general want to see more of the population, and they want to see more that hasn't been shown to them and has actually been revoked from them. And that's why I think it's so cool to see the movies about like very well like dramatized movies, like the high paying ones. I like to see those with the setting of like 1980s, with specifically being the Black struggle, because the thing is we didn't get to see those in a high profile, or they weren't really publicized or rated or critically acclaimed as the white movies at the time. So we didn't get to see what it was like being a black man in the 80s, or a black woman in the 80s, or an Asian woman in the 60s, or just any of this. And so I think it's really interesting and fun to see those, as well as the new ones coming in, talking about how we have gained success and financial stability, and we've outgrown most, not all, most of our oppressors in life. So the ones where they're most diverse, like The Good Place, one of my favorite shows, and that bitch is so fucking diverse. And diverse doesn't just mean all black or all white. Diverse means representation. So they have white, black, I don't know what Jamil Jahal is, but she's something. They got Asian, like it's very, I love seeing stuff like that, because it's like you're really trying to bring everybody into the picture, because, you know, you think blacks got it bad, ooh, the Asians, oh, and then the Indians, like, it's like, oh, like, there's such a problem with representation in Hollywood and in television, and it's so, and I especially love that people are making this content geared towards kids, so kids can grow up seeing that and maybe more will go into the entertainment industry thinking that they can do that because they see it. And it will also bring in acceptance. And I feel like also a reason a lot of people may still have racist tendencies or say stuff that's inappropriate is because they are not exposed to people of color, because they all live, like I lived in Grosse Pointe, it was pretty small, a bubble, but I feel like if they were to see other cultures on screen represented accurately and just as a regular family, when they would encounter one, they wouldn't say something like, yo, what's up, dog, or konnichiwa, or something fucking out of fucking line. Because I've gotten some, let me tell y'all, this one bitch-ass teacher, I liked her, she wasn't bad, but one teacher in 6th grade, she had my sister a few years prior, maybe 2 or 3, not long, and she was like, oh, you're Danielle's brother? And I said, yeah. She's like, oh, that's great, same mom and dad? Are you kidding me?
Before we start our work today, just have a quick conversation about
How unprofessional you guys are?
And I didn't get it at the time, but after I told my mom about it, she was like, because I know. And I was like, what? And I found out what that was, and I was like, thinking about it, you were messed up as a teacher to say that. You shouldn't have said that. That's disrespectful. You kind of disrespected my mom, my dad, me, my grandma. You disrespected my whole lineage. Ooh, I should be right at your house right now. But I'm over it. Yeah. Promote person of color art.